Right, we've got the drum off. Interestingly, this is not the original rear axle. It's had a new axle because this has got the 36mm nut, which again predictably been used too many times and been hammered flat, so the chances of that staying on is not good. I thought, well, I'll have a quick look, see what's going on with the brakes, because this one was a bit sticky. It's a lot of rust, but this wheel cylinder at the top is actually seized, because that should push in and that should push in. I'm going to attempt to tap it in to free it off, but it's going to need, certainly going to need cylinders. Shoes are a bit low, see what's available, but you can tell how the drums are different, because this has got this recessed all the way around, which is how you identify the much later biggest wheel bearing type. This is the earlier drum, which has got 4 sort of indents here. That's a quick and easy way of telling what's going on. So that's that bit. Underneath here, as it's now not raining, you should be able to see my very nice junction box sitting there. Where's the, no, there it is. There's a few extra wires I haven't taped up because it was dark and raining last night, but we're going to let it down, take it for an MOT. I'm going to free this brake off, have to order some parts and do that after the MOT. But it's not raining, it's got sunshine for today. Well, I've hit it with a hammer. As you can see, I've butchered it a bit, but it's just to make it move, just so it doesn't risk jamming up completely. What's also worth noticing, these are bonded shoes. It looks to me like they're starting to come unstuck. Yeah, because I can put my fingernail under that gap, which is not good. So I think shoes and cylinders will be required. Right, okay, let's put it back together. Right, lovely sunny day here in Worthing for a change. While I was still eating my cereals, Phil got here early and jacked this up and he took it all to bits. And we struggled last time to get a rear wheel bearing off. And the puller I had didn't want to work, but Phil has just sussed out how to do it. He's just going to demonstrate on the other side. I've done a bit this side. Let's see how he's getting on over this side. Not so much daylight. Right, what we've done, whether this will have it, oh yeah, look at that. This is a wheel bearing puller I've got, which I've never actually used for this job, but it does seem to work. We've took the outer racer piece, as all the bits are on the floor there, I'll show you in a second, but in the meantime that comes off. Okay, that's the inner part of the bearing. This is the outer cage, which you have to destroy to be able to get the puller on that part. So that's quite successful, because there's a metal shield here you've got to be very careful not to damage. Now, the last person that's done this bearing, this is a common problem, they've actually been in there with a grinder. I don't know if you can see that. There's actually a grind mark on the axle, so this is not the original bearing. This light doesn't look very good. These are SKF. SKF is the proper bearing manufacturer you should be buying. I could have got cheaper ones, about £3 cheaper, but I thought we'd go with SKF. Okay, you get an inner track, which has to be fitted to the brake drum, which I'll show you in a minute, and this is the bit that sits on the actual axle. Now that's a tight fit. Now I'm going to bang that on. It's got all the way back to that point there. Then obviously I shall grease it, but I've run out of grease at the moment, so when that arrives I'll show you that bit. Okay, I can't do two hands and Phil's busy elsewhere, so I shall knock this on and then show you after. As this is the larger bearing, 73mm, which is mainly only used on the later vehicles, phase 3s, I've knocked that over using a piece of scaffold tube which I had here. Obviously you need to keep it dead square, not to do any damage to this edge. But that's now on there all the way back, okay? Right, now we've got to get the bearing tracks out. These are a press fit after knocked out with a chisel. So once you've cleaned all the grease out, you can just about find the edge, which you've got to tap up. You can see those pit marks, which is where the bearing's actually worn and noisy. It says you put more grease on it. Right, Phil's very carefully going to knock these out without hopefully any swearing. One out, okay. Oh, he missed. There's a very, very tiny lip you're trying to get on. You have to rotate it a few times to make sure the bearing comes out square, otherwise it'll jam. Come in. So's Christmas. I'm getting bored now. Anyway, you get the general idea. It will come out. Nearly. It's catching on the rubber oil seal. Okay, this is the BMW hub nut, which is all you can get these days. This is the original one, which has been used too many times. It's not safe to reuse it because the chances are it will come undone if you bang it back in the same place. Right, this is a BMW one. You nip it up. First of all, you use the spanner, pull it down as hard as it will go with hand pressure, no more than that. That will seat the bearing all the way back to where it needs to go. Then you slacken it off, lift it up, and you literally, it just has to go so the spanner has just got a tiny bit of pressure. If you watch the washer behind, you'll see the washer moving. When the washer goes as far as it can there, and then the spanner starts going past it, that's the point to stop. Then you get the hammer and hit the brake drum. Make sure it still goes round, because I've adjusted the brakes previously to the correct size, so that's fine. And then you get someone to put their foot on the brake and see whether the brakes work and handbrakes work. Where's Phil gone?
I'm greased up, Paul.
Okay, alright.